Respiration! It's wonderful! Hey, start the show! Oh, the show! Whoa, whoa.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Science rules.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Inertia is a property of matter.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
T minus 7 seconds.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
When you have a need to breathe, respire, and you won't expire.
Breathing is part of respiration. That's how we get oxygen from the air so we can run. Or bike. See, oxygen is important because we combine oxygen with chemicals in the food we eat to get the energy that we need to swim. Swimming is good exercise, and you have to breathe a lot of oxygen to do it. Now, you can swim around underwater, holding your breath, but you still have to come up here for air to breathe.
But underwater, you can't breathe unless you breathe for a little animal. That's what the animal holding is for. You get it? That's what it is.
Breathing hard. Did you know that you breathe all day and all night, your whole life? When you breathe, you take air inside parts of your body called your lungs. Your lungs are inside your chest, and your chest is airtight. Yeah, still breathing. Take a look at this. It's our rubber balloon breathing simulator of science. Now, these two rubber balloons represent your lungs. This plastic tube represents your upper body. It's the part of your body that lets you do this. And this glass head represents your head. Yeah. Now, in your upper body is a very strong muscle called your diaphragm. And that's represented by this big rubber sheet. Now watch. When you breathe, your diaphragm goes down. Your lungs fill up. Isn't that cool? That's how you breathe. And when we breathe in, our bodies get oxygen from the air. Now, oxygen is the same chemical that makes candles burn and iron rust. Our bodies combine the oxygen with our food to get the energy that we need to live. Now, your lungs are full of tiny passageways, kind of like a sponge. And those small passageways allow you to take in a lot of oxygen with each breath, the same way a sponge can hold a lot of water. Now, when you're asleep, you breathe about this much air every 4 minutes. But when you're walking around or making Tarzan noises, you use about this much air every minute.
And so?
If we could look inside your chest, we'd see how your lungs work. Now, breathe in. And breathe out.
Hey, you.
Me?
You, come here.
All right.
Do you actually know how much air your lungs can hold? Well, I bet you don't.
No.
So, check this out.
Okay.
Get a jar that's empty and fill it with water. Then put the jar in a bowl of water and turn it upside down. making sure that the level of water in the jar is higher than the level of water in the bowl.
Okay.
Then get some plastic tubing, or like a bendy straw or something, because they both work.
Right.
And slide
the
tubing under the rim of the jar and up through the jar to the top of the surface of the water.
All right.
Right.
Yeah.
Then, hello.
Oh, sorry.
Take a deep breath and blow. And look, the water level went down. And the air bubble that's left, that represents how much air I forced out of my lungs. Come on, you try it.
Well, I don't really want to.
We'll see who's full of the...
Okay.
Alveoli, your court is ready.
Doggone it. You know, breathing hard playing tennis just makes you want to consider the following. Your lungs have as much surface area as a tennis court. Now, surface area is how spread out something is. Surface area is what allows sponges to soak up water. See, sponges are full of tiny passages that have a lot of area, and surface area is where the water sticks. Your lungs are full of tiny passages, too. Little sacs called alveoli, alveoli, alveoli. Now, every time you breathe in about this much air. So your lungs are like having sponges that can soak up this much water every time you breathe. Your lungs have so much surface area, they'd be like soaking up this much water and spreading it out over a whole tennis court. You know, that would be a lot of sponging. Be a lot of air. It's a lot of lungs.
Service!
Huh? You've got two lungs, but they're not exactly the same. Your right lung is bigger than your left lung, and your right lung is divided into 3 parts, while your left lung is divided into 2. Now, why is that? Why is your left lung smaller than your right lung? Because you got a heart. So your left lung has to be smaller so your heart can fit inside your chest. You got to love your lungs with all your heart.
I'm Jane Robinson, and I work with lungs. This is a healthy lung, and this is a sick lung, a black lung, a smoker's lung. In my work, I measure how healthy or how sick and diseased the lungs really are. What I'm doing right now is hooking on the EKG leads. It will give us some information about how much oxygen is being delivered for every beat of his heart. This is the hose that collects all the air that you breathe out. The top line that you see there is the air going in and out of the lungs. As you can see, Peter's working a little harder, so he's having to breathe harder. His lungs are breathing deeper and faster. It's really important to get some physical exercise almost every day. Keep your muscles healthy. Keep your lungs healthy. Your muscles can't do any work without your lungs. The next line down is the carbon dioxide. The accumulation of the carbon dioxide in your legs actually burns. It feels like an acid. It's like lemon juice in your legs. And so that's where the pain comes from when you're trying to work at a level more than what your lungs can supply. It's really important to get your body working heavily, because then you get the air flowing in and out of your lungs at a really high rate. You expand your lungs, you keep them open, and you use your muscles. They're at the other end where the oxygen goes. So everything is like a really efficient, well-working race engine.
We get the oxygen that we need from the air we breathe. That's respiration. But there's another type of respiration that happens in our cells called cellular respiration. Our cells combine chemicals in the food we eat with oxygen to store energy in another simple chemical called ATP. 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 Adenosine triphosphate. Adenosine triphosphate. Adenosine triphosphate. Here. Once your body has oxygen, it can make adenosine triphosphate. Adenosine triphosphate. Phosphate from almost any food. It can be hot dogs, spinach, or crab meat. Hey! If you like that kind of thing. Your body uses ATP as a sort of chemical battery. It stores energy and then lets it go. Stores it and lets it go. It just keeps going and 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 going.
These are the Scottish bagpipes. We use the bag as a reservoir for air, like a lung. When you blow up the pipes like this, you could actually play them for quite a while. The bag holds air just like your lungs do.
You can see how the diaphragm and the lungs work together so you can breathe by getting a hold of an empty pop bottle and then cutting it about this far away from the top. Then stick a balloon through the top of the pop bottle. And you might want to roll the top of the balloon over the top of the bottle so it'll stay and stuff. Then get a big balloon and cut a big piece out of it. And attach it to the opening at the bottom of the pop bottle and tape it. And hey, look what you got. The pop bottle is like your chest, the top balloon is like your lung, and the bottom balloon is like your diaphragm. And look what happens when you push and pull on the diaphragm. The lungs expand or get bigger and contract. That's how we get oxygen to our lungs. Science sure is cool.
When you breathe in, your diaphragm pulls down and air rushes into your lungs. It's just like pulling the sides apart on an accordion. See? Then, when you let the sides go back together, air goes out. The same thing happens when you relax your diaphragm.
Karate is a very rigorous and demanding sport, and as in any sport like that, breathing is critical. That's where your focus is. In order to have any power or strength in that movement, you have to make sure that your breathing is very controlled. The power comes from the diaphragm, not from the throat. Karate. It's breathing, and it's cool.
Oh, that's just playing with slime. You know, you and I have slime inside of us, in our nose and lungs. It's called mucus. And mucus traps dust particles and smoke and keeps them from getting into our lungs. Now take a look at this. We have a cigarette hooked up to an air pump with a filter in the middle. It's just like a regular old coffee filter. Now watch what happens when we light the cigarette and use the pump to smoke it. There. We've smoked one cigarette all the way down. Now let's look at the filter. Look. It's brown and black with tar and soot. All that stuff goes in your lungs. Now just think if you smoked a pack of cigarettes, say every month or every week, or some people smoke a pack a day. That's a lot of junk getting in your lungs, getting in your filter, getting in your mucus. So don't smoke. You don't want to end up like this guy.
Howdy ho, friends. Sammy Cosell here to sell you on cellular respiration. And no, I'm not talking about that first kind of respiration where you use all them big fancy structures like lungs and nose and mouth and all that. I'm talking about cellular respiration, and I'm not talking about a cellular phone that breathes either, friends. I'm talking about when a cell takes in oxygen and then blammo! Energy is released and a little bit of waste product called carbon dioxide. And what you have, friends, is one lean, mean, respiring machine. Now, every living cell in your body does cellular respiration. And let me tell you what I'm going to do. And I don't do this for just everybody here in the laboratory, but you're a friend of mine. And I'm going to let your cells respire for the unheard of price of just $29.95.
Looks pretty complicated, doesn't it? Well, it's the chemical formula for cellular respiration. And you don't have to be some kind of pulmonologist to understand it. It's where we combine chemicals in the food we eat with oxygen in the air we breathe to get the energy that we need to live. So, this plus this makes this. Whoa!
Dennis, there's a hookah. Mr. Hummel's colonizer said it's better than material, so we could breathe it. Without the hookah, we couldn't breathe it.
We can't breathe underwater unless we bring our own oxygen with us. But fish can, because air mixes with water all the time and some of it dissolves. And then fish are able to breathe the dissolved oxygen right out of the water. Not with lungs like we have, but with gills. Fish swim along with their mouths open to let water flow past their gills. Oxygen in the water goes right through their gills into their blood, and carbon dioxide in their blood goes right through the gills into the water. See, they breathe just like we do, only with water. Right, guys? All these medicines are set up to help you when you have a cold. See, it's easy for germs to get in your body when the germs are in the air, because they can get in every time you breathe. And you've got to breathe.
Breath mint, Bill?
Now, people not only get sick from stuff in the air, some people have an allergic reaction, like from dust or pollen from flowers. It gives people runny noses and watery eyes. See that? That's the squirting flower for the watery eyes. You should always carry a handkerchief, you know.
Now wait. Hold this breath. A little longer. Uh-huh. See what has happened? Your body has used up the air, taken all the good out of it.
Every time we breathe in over 10 quadrillion molecules of air. 10 quadrillion, that's 10 million billion molecules of air into our lungs. That's a lot of molecules. And the atmosphere mixes up the air so much that every time we breathe, we might be inhaling at least one molecule breathed in by, say, a great scientist like Galileo. Maybe that was it. I'll try again.
No. No.
Or maybe it's this one.
No.
Okay, wait a minute.
No. No. No.
The room is spinning, Dave.
Let's breathe out that bad air. And take a breath of fresh air. Ah, that's better, isn't it?
We got two lungs to breathe in the air, baby. Let you rain down. What a beautiful pair. We got two lungs to breathe in the air, baby. Let you rain down. What a beautiful pair. Eat that food, baby. Breathe in deep. Energy to play. Energy to speak. We've got two lungs to breathe in the air, baby. Let you rain down. What a beautiful pair. Your two lungs, baby. Take in the sweet air. Love to watch you breathe. You're doing it with flair. Lungs inflate, lungs collapse. You've got such attitude. Oxygen alone won't do. You gotta have food. We got two lungs.
Well, that's our show. Thanks for watching. If you'll excuse me, I've got some oxygen uptake to maximize. See ya! Don't forget, keep breathing.
Produced in association with the National Science Foundation.
When you can't, even if you try to stop, you keep breathing. Yeah, fresh air, a couple of long